everybody. Welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 226. Ooh, child. A week it has been, huh? Those who know me personally, you have an idea what I'm talking about. You have an idea of what I am talking about. Let me just say this. Let me start off and say this. I know that my opinions here are strong, right? I know that it may be quote unquote controversial. I really don't even like that word because I find that word to be slanderous. You know, speaking the truth is controversial. You know, being honest and embracing your natural essence is controversial. Rooting for the natural order of things is controversial. Like, you know, I just find it to be unfitting at the very least. And I think because I just go so hard in what I say and I don't like acquiesce to the status quo or the PC version of things, feathers are going to get ruffled. And I understand that, right? I can't, look, ever since I was young, I always realized that, hey, you know what? I'm not for everybody. I am not for everybody, but I know that I have a good heart and all that stuff. No, I mean, and it's one of those things where like, I am who I am. I don't have to prove myself to anybody. You see my character in my actions, in my heart chakra, and just the way that I am with people. Anyway, I say all this to say, cut it out. Cut it out. Just cut it out. I just feel like, look, if you get so upset or hurt about what I say here on this podcast, then don't listen. Right? Then don't listen. Don't pull me to the side and talk about an opinion I have. Because like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? I just feel it's just so strange to me how we get mad over someone else's opinion. Right? Like, my opinion has no bearing upon your life. And we should not get to a point or continue to be in a point in society in which we are dependent upon other people's opinion on us, right? Like the way that I see myself is based off of Maxine's opinion. Like what's going on? And another thing, I think, when it comes to like work and like things we do outside of work, unfortunately, we live in a place where people like to determine what you can or cannot do outside of work. And I just never subscribe to that. I think at the very least, sure, I may have said some things on this podcast about my just irritations about, the intricacies of the job of being an educator. And sure, I'll augment that as accordance, right? That's fine. But outside of that, I just stand on what I've said, right? I stand on my opinions, who I am. I'm continuously going to stand on being unapologetic. And that really just speaks to the title of this podcast. God built this. It's not about being identified by your standards or your idea of what a woman should be or what a woman should be in 2023. Nobody defines me. Like, what? Nobody defines me. I am a child of God. I am built under his image. And so when I think about like people easily being wavered by just the nuance, just the newness in the world, right? In this new world order that we're in. I am never that. I don't conform to the world and what is acceptable and all these things. And with that being said, I respect people's opinions. You know, like I remember having the abortion talk like a year ago now, or almost 2 years ago now, with a former friend. And we shared completely different views on abortion. I used to be very just like, you know, pro-choice and, you know, let a woman be and women's rights and all these things. And then I did my research and I'm like, wait, Margaret Sanger just, you know, really had it out for black babies, huh? It's quite... Margaret Sanger really had it out for black babies. And it's quite controversial how she made it a point to have so many Planned Parenthood clinics in disenfranchised communities of color. But we don't talk about that, right? We disguise it as this birth control activist. I am going to control my body by killing a child, an unborn child, right? I'm going to control my body by bringing forth a genocide for a particular population. And I'm going to disguise it as my right. Oh, it's my right? Oh, because I was... not being careful, or because I don't have a consideration of life outside of my own, or because I am operating off of selfishness, I'm just going to say, it's my right to continuously abort mission. And look, one thing about me is I'm a stand on my opinion, and I could still be your friend. You know how many people I know personally who have made decisions that I wouldn't do for my own life, but I still value our friendship. Like, friendship to me isn't based off our shared political perspectives. Like, this is not an echo chamber. Like, I don't need to be friends with someone who only thinks the way that I think. Now, on some grounds, I feel like, okay, I don't want to be friends with someone who's a sheep, right? I don't want to be friends with someone who has no mind, has no independence, completely just dumb in this world. That right there, I'll draw the line there. But I think I absolutely agree that Republicans and Democrats could be friends, and conservatives and liberals could be friends, and like, it doesn't matter. Like, what's the character of you? Like, who are you at the end of the day? You know, what morals do you stand on? Are you a good person? Do you care about people? Are you nice? Are you kind? Are you giving? Those are the things that matter the most. Your character and your actions, not, oh, do you check the box of being a liberal? Oh, because, you know, we're so quick to judge people off of what political party they stand on. And we're quick to put them in this box. And we're not made to be put in boxes. We are complex beings. So going back to like just what's appropriate for work or what's not, I just feel like, you know, what in the world are we talking about here? Like, we're not one-dimensional creatures. We have different sides to ourselves, and we are just, you know, we're full-fledged humans, you know, not even, we're spirits. We're full-fledged spirits with different likes and interests and habits and creativities and all these things. And, you know, just don't put people in a box. And I just think, like, you know, when people take the time out of their day to nitpick what I say outside of the grounds that they know me under, I just find it to be very interesting, because you're miserable. You know, like, if you are so upset with my views and my opinions, yet you tune in to listen to me and you share that amongst folks, and continue to keep my name in your mouth, it really speaks to the misery in your life. And I feel sorry for you. You know, I feel sorry for people who are just so obsessed with other people's business. And then one may say, oh, well, it's a podcast. It's public, so if you don't want any judgment, don't put it out there. Shut up. That's not the point. The point is, if you don't like something, you don't have to keep on watching. You don't have to keep on listening. You don't have to. You know that saying, curiosity killed the cat? Your curious ass made you even more miserable. Right? Because now you're in this warp hole of wanting to know what I say next, right? Wanting to know what else did Maxine divulge? And you're getting mad and more mad and more mad. And I'm fine, right? Like, I don't care about like what your opinions are. And I think that's what angers some people the most. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she said that. And look, I'm not perfect. I'm not always, demonstrating couth, I guess. But I think at the very least, I am consistent. I am who I was yesterday and today, and yes, I evolve and change and get better, but at the very least, I'm someone who is not easily swayed, not easily moved, and I really don't give a fuck. Like, I feel like we also have to let people be who they are, and we can't this whole reserve that we have for people who are exclusively in like this alternative lifestyle or alternative identity, and yet we have no patience for the opposite, right? Like, if you want us to still be accepting and embracing of people of different lifestyles, different backgrounds, different orientations, different identities, be accepting to those who are not different to that, who do fit that initial traditional perspective and views. Like, respect both sides, respect all sides. We could respectfully disagree. Like, nothing has to be a point of contention. And that's just, I just never understood how people could just not continue a conversation with someone just because, we think differently about, abortion or child. I don't know. It's just stupid. People are dumb. Anyway, let me just say one last thing about a student. It's a joke. I'm kidding. Oh my gosh. And when you don't get my humor, it's like, oh God, what the Maxine, stop. Maxine, stop. I'm kidding. Fuck. Like, I feel like now I need to have like this like disclaimer in the first 10 seconds of the pod, because damn, people just be getting in their panties in a bunch. But let me just say this one. I had a kid, right? I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. And we have to understand that any job, there are grievances, right? Any place of employment, regardless of the environment that you're in, regardless of who your employer may be, you will come across moments and days and weeks, just some time in that place in which you're just like, fuck this, fuck that. You're upset, you're annoyed, and then you're happy. Things are going well. Like, it's a roller coaster of emotions. And I just don't feel like I need to go back in time and explain why I said what I said in episode, 198. I'm just thinking of a random number. But, that's the point I make. Like, why are we having to retroactively correct what we said back then? I just never agreed with cancel culture. I never agreed with, in 2000, in the year 2000, you said, okay, yeah, I said it then. And that was a little taste
a little salt at the tip of your tongue. If you would like to listen to the full episode, become a patron at patreon.com/godbuiltthis. See you there.